Greetings everyone, I'm Kevin and today I'm going to read Heartstopper, Volume 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I decided that it would be kind of fun that before the end of the year that I would do kind of like a reading vlog where I read the most, not hyped, but the most popular book on my physical TBR, which is the Heartstopper series. I don't remember which book in the series, but one of them has the highest average rating out of all of my physical TBR. So hey, I decided I'm gonna read all of them. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna just read Heartstopper. I'm gonna start with the first book, of course. This is volume 4. I put them in the wrong order. So now it's in the right order. So I'm gonna start with volume 1 and I'm really excited. I've heard great things about this series. Like I've just heard that from a lot of people. It's just 5 stars. The romance is adorable. It's like, it has great male-male romance, queer representation, that is just a blast. It's sunshine in a book, kind of, is what I've heard. So my expectations for this series are sky high. I expect at least 2 books to be 5 stars. I really hope I will have more than 2 books be 5 stars, but we're gonna have to see. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this. And because tomorrow is Christmas for us in Sweden, which is Christmas Eve. We celebrate Christmas Eve. I decided I'm gonna do a Christmassy coffee drink, which is tomtelatte. And it's basically a coffee latte with cinnamon syrup in it and some whisked, what is that called? Cream, you know, like whisked cream, which is like, it's delicious. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this and make some coffee.
I can see it in your eyes. You've seen the moon and its darker side. I can feel the gravity, the forces pull between you and me.
Hi, so I just finished Heartstopper Volume 1. I'm gonna give it 3 stars. Also, I don't know why. I know why I'm so red. I have, the only lamp I have in here is red. So I look very red. And it looks like I've been crying, but I promise I haven't been crying. I don't know why I look so red in this light. But as I said, I finished the first Heartstopper book. I think it's cute, but it's not what I expected. I expected it to be more to it. Like, it felt very shallow in a lot of ways. There was just, with these characters, like, I love the interactions between them and all of that. I love to see their friendship develop, but I didn't feel like, if I have read an entire book, spent time with the characters in an entire book, I want to know who the characters are, but I don't feel like I know about, I feel like all I know about them is Nick plays rugby and he has a dog, and Charlie likes to play drums. He has an older sister and he's gay. Like, I don't feel like I know that much more about them than those things. And I would love to know more about the characters, because right now I feel like I don't really know that much more than that. And we see like references to their friends, but we never really see them interact only with their friends for a longer time than 1 page, which I would have loved to see their friendships. How do they act when they aren't around each other? So like, yeah, those are just my thoughts after reading the first volume. I'm gonna give it 3 stars, as I said. But now I'm gonna go ahead and start the second volume. And hopefully I will enjoy this more. Like, it's just so weird. Like, I'm reading this as the most, not hyped, but the series on my Goodreads want to read list with the highest average rating that I own. Like, there are books that have a higher average rating than Heartstopper, but I don't own any of those. But I do own the Heartstopper books, all 4 of them, all 4 volumes, and I end up giving the first book 3 stars. So we're gonna see how I feel about the second book. Hi. It's completely black outside. I finished the second volume. I did enjoy this a lot more than the first volume. I'm a little bit like confused because I thought that it was gonna be more slow burn than it is. And now, spoiler alert, they kiss at the end of the first book and they become officially together like boyfriends in the second book. And I'm like, we have 2 more books. Like, yeah, I'm confused what will happen, because as far as I knew, this was a romance, kind of like a queer romance series. So I'm a little bit confused that it wasn't that they're already together by the second book, and like not even that far into the second book. They start dating at like the beginning of the second book. And I thought that it would be at least 2 books where there's pining and there's questioning of sexuality, and there's this like the friendship grows into romantic love, or like getting a crush or something like that. I thought that it would be at least 2 books of pining and will they won't they kind of thing, and they just started dating so quickly, in my opinion. I still find it cute. I did enjoy the second book more than the first book, but what's gonna happen in the next book is my question. If they're already together. I mean, I guess that it's gonna be Nick coming out. He came out to his mom and an ex kind of in this book, in the second volume. So I guess the third book, he's gonna come out to more people, and it's gonna be how they react to him coming out, but I have no idea what else could happen. The second book, this book right here, Heartstopper Volume 2, I'm gonna give this 4 stars. I did enjoy it a lot more than the first book. It still didn't hit like the mark for me that I would give it 5 stars. Like, it still felt like it gave me more that I wanted from the first book. It gave that, but I still feel like it's not 5 stars for me. So I do understand why a lot of people like it, why a lot of people love it. So far, I don't agree, but I'm only halfway into the series, and I'm gonna start the 3rd volume now, and at this rate, I'm gonna be finished with the series before dinner. That's weird. But that's the plan. I'm gonna start reading the 3rd book now. Hi, so a little change of scenery. We're in my bedroom now instead. Which sounds weird because I live in a one-room apartment, but I've divided it in two. So I finished this a while back, but my battery died on my camera, so I had to charge it. But I finished this, and I don't know what to rate it, because the first half of this, I was like, this is amazing. I might give this 5 stars. And then the second half, I was bored. So I feel like I'm gonna give it 4 stars just because of that, to have it kind of like in the middle. I did really enjoy this. The reason that the second part of this bored me was that it was a big part of that, the majority of the second part, the second chapter in this, was Charlie and Nick writing in their journals about what was happening, and it was kind of like flashbacks, and we just got to see what they were saying in a journal format, which didn't work for me. Like, what they were saying was important, and like a lot of the things that they were saying are important and good, but that way felt so passive that I felt like I wasn't, you know, in the story. I was just reading someone's diary, which wasn't at all what I was expecting, and I don't really like that format. And I don't really like that whole thing where you read a book and it's someone's journal, kind of like a diary. I don't really like reading that. Like, it feels like there's this huge distance between me as a reader and the story, what is going on. Like, oh, everything is happened in the past and you're just giving like a brief thing. I feel like I would have enjoyed this a lot more had it not had those stories that they were telling in this journal format, had it been instead active things that were happening the way that the rest of the books are told. I feel like I would have enjoyed that a lot more. But I was kind of leaning between a 3 star and a 4 star because of that. But I'm gonna give it 4 stars because I did really enjoy the first half of this. I don't know if I'm gonna pick up the 5th book. I don't really know what more we can get from the story that will keep it interesting, because we have already gotten, you know, like them falling in love, figuring out themselves, mental issues coming out, and, you know, like all of that. So I feel like I don't really know what a 5th book would add to the story. That's kind of like how I'm feeling about this. But now I have read the entire Heartstopper series. And as I said, it's the series that I have on my physical TBR with the highest average rating. Do I agree? No. Because like looking at the books, 3 stars, 4 stars, 4 stars, and 4 stars. So none of these end up being a 5-star book for me, which I'm kind of sad. I really expected these, like all 4 of them, to be 5 stars, or like to have at least 2 5-star books out of these was my expectation. That's why I bought them. That's like, I really expected to love them. Like, I love romance. I am a queer person myself, so queer stories are always something that I really enjoy. So I felt like I'm gonna really love this story, these characters, but I just, it didn't go that way. Like, what I love with romance stories, romance novels, is like the build up, you know, like these characters are getting to know each other and there are these obstacles and they feel like they are scared to take that step into a romantic relationship, and so they're like, you know, like that. And that slow burn thing is something that I really love in a book, in a romance book. And this was not slow burn. I thought that this series, the reason that it was multiple books was because they wouldn't get together until like book 3. Like, that was my expectation, but like it happened so much quicker than I expected it to. And so it just, yeah, it was not what I was expecting. It was not at all what I wanted it to be. But yeah, that's kind of like my final thoughts after doing this little thing. I can't believe that I read all 4 Heartstopper books in like 5 hours. Or not, like it took 4 hours to read all of them. I actually clocked how long it took to read the 4th book. It took 50 minutes to read that book, and I made several like stops, petting my cats, drinking coffee. You know, like I wasn't just reading 50 minutes straight. I did other things too, and it took 50 minutes to read one book. That is so weird. That is super weird, but that's the beauty of graphic novels. Am I right? Yeah. Well, thank you so much for watching. And have you read Heartstopper? Please let me know what your thoughts are. Do you agree with me, or do you think I am completely off the rockers, you know? I would love to know. But thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. Until next time, good reading. Bye.